Hi guys, it's Stephen here from Sound of an Ocean Wave, and I'm coming to do a video response to a tag that's been around for a week or so now at least, that Simon from Hermit's Cave came up with, called Free Ego States spread tag. And I've been meaning to do this for a while, and I've done a couple of other videos instead, so it kept getting pushed back. But now I've got a moment, and I thought I would catch up with these tags. There seems to be a lot of really good, interesting tags going around these days, and I thought I would join in on this one. Simon has done a very good video on this, explaining the basics of the free ego states, and he gives a much better explanation than I could give. So I will link his video in the description below, and would strongly recommend that you go and watch that video. And there's some interesting videos that people have made in the community in response to this as well, that it might be good for you to go and have a look at. But definitely look at Simon's, the original video, and he just said that this principle of these free ego states as part of transactional analysis, and he explains a bit about what that is. He also says what he's presented in his video is only a part of the whole topic of transactional analysis, which was I think originated by Dr. Eric Byrne. Anyway, go and look at Simon's video for more details on that. So basically, we have like the free ego states that we can be in at any time, and these are the three ego states. We have the parent, the adult, and the child ego states. And what the spread is that we draw a card for each of these states to show how we sort of operate in each of these ego states, and then using a different deck, a second deck, we choose another card to go with these, which sort of gives us guidance on how to deal with that ego state, and to perhaps go more to our higher self out of that ego state, or how to more positively work in that ego state. I think that's the idea of it. And then you do, that's two cards for each of these, to see how you can work with each of these states, egos. So the first one is the parent ego state, and this is when you're in the state. It's said to be what you learn, you get from your parents, from or parental figures, that it's as Simon called it, the taught ego. It's what you learn. The parent ego is the rule maker, can be overprotective. It's like, you've got to do what I say. Often it's that they like to control the circumstances, so you've got to do it my way because it's the safe way, it's the only way. Then you've got the adult, which is the reality-based person. There's a problem solver, believes in equality, looks at the facts, and these states can be seen either positively or negatively. Yeah, but I think the idea is to go beyond these egos into a higher self, and this is what the spread's all about. I think the best one where we relate to each other is in the adult state, but occasionally we do go into the parent state and the child state, and the child is more dependent, like where we are dependent on our parents, on other people, more emotional, more perhaps free. We don't, you know, more like the Fool Tower card that is, you know, will just jump off that cliff without any care. Perhaps sometimes recklessly, can't see the dangers. Sometimes doing irrational things. So those are the three states. First card I'm going to draw is for how I operate within the parent ego state, and for the first part of the reading I'm going to use the Legacy of Divine tarot deck that I love, and I shall do the 2 cards for this, then I'll move on to the next one and so on. I won't do the 3 and then do the second card for all of them. I'll take them each by each pair. So let's get started. So the parent ego state. I operate on that, so I'm going to pick a card for that, and we have the Ace of Cups. So I think when I operate in this, is from an emotional point of view, and my emotions, whatever emotions are emerging at the time, can affect the way that I am with other people, and perhaps can fall into that overprotectiveness because of an emotional feeling that I've got, that a desire for the people around me to be safe, and thinking that I know what will keep them safe, so I expect them to fall into line, and become concerned when they don't, that they may come to harm. So that's, I think, is what goes on when I'm operating in that particular ego state. So we will draw the second card now as to how to deal with that, how to improve on that, and I shall use my Wild Unknown deck and see what we get as an answer to, and I'll summarize these at the end. So for this we have the Six of Swords, quite different to the Rider-Waite image. but I still get this sense of emerging out of the darkness with the promise of a new hope, and the victory coming out into the light coming in, and the promise of better things there. And I see that as being that am I really protecting people by being overprotective? I know that a lot of my growth has come from difficult circumstances, through the knocks and the falls that we have in life, and am I perhaps then taking away that opportunity by being overprotective? That it's good to let people live their life the way they want to, and to make their own mistakes, and have their own ups and downs, and with all the downs and the knocks and falls in life that all of us have, there's lessons we learn, and they can come out into a better state of being, or better future through that experience, and not to be afraid to let them go through that experience. So to give people the freedom to be themselves, and to develop in their own way, and not to be so concerned of protecting them too much. So that is the first ego state. I'll put that pair there. So now we move on to the adult, sort of reality-based, problem solving, believing in equality, establishing the fact, living in the reality of things, looking for the truth of situations, dealing with what's in front of me, and that kind of thing. So we'll take the first card for that, and we have the King of Cups. Another cup, part of the cup suit, and this time the King of Cups. That when I'm in the adult ego state, that I'm more in control of my emotions, and that I can take care of situations, and it's like not moving away from the emotional motivation, or the emotional feelings in situations and dealings with people, having that compassion still and that care, but having a more complete mastery of the emotions, and allowing them to flow in a more controlled, healthy way, and perhaps tempered a little by reasoning, by like the air element, but I think sometimes I need to be more grounded in that reality when I'm operating in this way. I need to have that grounding, the more of the pentacle element as well. So we'll draw the second card for that, and see what we get as to how to respond better in that with that ego state. And we have the Wheel of Fortune. And I think that's just saying that there's a time for everything, that life has its ups and downs, and tying a bit more with the first one, to accept that life is full of ups and downs, and that's how we we journey on through life, through that experience, that cycle of opportunities and changes, and to go with the flow, and to not get too bogged down in trying to control things. So it's similar to the parent, but more of that we can't reason out and know everything, even in this adult state. We have a better grasp of what's real, what the facts are, solving problems, but to perhaps realise that some situations are just occurring because it's the time for them to occur, and we just have to go with them and through them and come out the other side. So I'm quite surprising how similar that is to the first pair of cards. So and it does fit with things I'm getting from other readings as well, about where I'm at in my life and the lessons I need to learn. So that's quite good. So we'll do the child one now. That dependence on other people, reliance on other people, perhaps some more emotional. We've had the emotions with the cups already and the other two. That perhaps the irrational reactions to things, perhaps getting a bit rebellious, trying to buck against what life and the world's is drawing you towards, and that reluctance, and not wanting to play ball with it. So we'll draw the first card for this. And that's the Six of Wands. Trying to be to play up to the crowd, I'm generally very shy, usually not a rebellious type of person. I don't like to draw attention to myself as a rule, but occasionally I sometimes do. So I say generally I don't, but sometimes I do perhaps play up to try and appear more perhaps in charge than I am, that I'm doing things my way, and sort of like strutting along there, showing off, displaying a sense of I am the champion. Trying to big up my ego, perhaps in not a healthy way. So that's the first card. So the second card we'll pick for that is going to be and that is the Seven of Pentacles. And I think that is to look at the realities, and that is going more back to the adult state, the reality-based state. Look at more of the reality of what my situation is, that do I really have cause to be blowing the victory trumpet as much as I am? I need to have a more realistic assessment of my current position, the things that are beginning to bear fruit, the things that still need to be tended before it's ready to be reaped and to be harvested. You know, things that need more attention. So a more realistic appraisal and a reevaluation of where my life is at, to become more, say, reality conscious of, not get too much into a fantasy, unrealistic sense of false image of success, to allow that natural success to come to fruit in its own good time, not to force the issue, or to put on a pretense, you know, play acting like children do, but just to be myself, be comfortable with who I am and where I'm at any moment in time, and to just let things develop and grow naturally. So that's what I see for that. So I'll summarize. We had the first pair here, which was the emotional reaction, being overprotective, and the responding was that don't do that, because sometimes people need to have a few knocks in life and work through their own issues, to become stronger and to come in, get to higher ground, as it were. So that's that pair. And we have the adult stage, which is King of Cups, in control, particularly emotionally, but to recognise that not everything can be control, that some situations are it's just the time for those, and we need to let them go with, go with the flow, as it were, and let that take us where it takes us. And the final, the child ego state, not to have that pretentious, false sense of that you're okay, you've taken care of everything, you're in charge, or you're the champion of the world kind of thing, but to have a more realistic evaluation of your life, and to let things develop naturally. So that is my video response to Simon from Hermit's Cave with the 3 ego states tag. It was very interesting, and I can see where each of these do fit with me as an individual, and I found it quite useful to do, and I hope you've found it interesting to watch, to listen to, and I thank you for watching, and I'll be back with another video soon, and I will see you all soon. Okay, thank you, bye bye.